Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. G, and I am super excited about this particular episode because it is our 250th episode, and I am super grateful for all of your support, for you listening, for you tuning in every single Sunday, and just amazing goodness that the podcast has allowed for us to share with each other. And here I am at home. We are actually preparing for a storm that's coming. We have a typhoon coming, and we're preparing for that. And as we prepare, I'm still super encouraged about the fact that the podcast is having this amazing milestone. And I thank you so much for making it a complete success. Enjoy the episode.
Especially like when I am in Cape Town and I'm hanging with some of my buddies down there, or like I'd be in Stellenbosch, which is like kind of a college town, and I'd be meeting some people. And when they heard that I'm from the US, which they figured out pretty quickly because of my accent,
Right.
but they immediately are like, "Oh my God, have you been to New York?" Like they just put it on such a pedestal because of the currency difference and how the currency is quite weak down there compared to the US. So when they're talking to me, they're kind of looking at the US as like they're dreaming of going there. And then that's just where I'm from. So I take it for granted. And that's something they're dreaming of. So it just it shifted my perspective a lot.
Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified when the next video comes out. It only takes 2 seconds to make 2 clicks. So let's do it. Let's get back to the video. Hello, 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 Fearless Freedom Tribe. This is Dr. G, and we are back with another exciting episode of the Fearless Freedom with Dr. G podcast. Today, we have Logan Lessar. Logan, you got to tell us about who you are and what you're up to.
Well, first off, thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to being on the show. And yeah, no, first off, I'm 19, so I'm a young gun, still got a lot to learn, a long way to go. But up until this point, I'm a national motocross champion. I've won upwards of about like 15 state championships here in Colorado, and then a national championship, as well as placed top 5s and top 10s at some of the biggest amateur motocross national races in the country. And then aside from that, I started my first business at 15, traveled to South Africa on my own at 17 to work with my business partner who lived there. And now I live in Cape Town, South Africa, part-time throughout the year. And then whenever I'm home, I'm with the family, riding my dirt bike, and then doing some races here and there, which I'm going to do my first race in like a few weeks. And it'll be my first race for like, it's been like over a year since I've raced last. So that should be interesting. But yeah, no, that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Hopefully you've been training though, right? You've been training.
Oh yeah. I literally rode today, and no, I'm feeling really, really good. And that's why I like mindset so much, is because I've been very focused on my business stuff I basically decided this year I was going to focus 100% on business, not do any racing. And last year I was still like full blown into racing. But since I kind of figured out my mental side and the mindset side of it, I still am able to just like show up as if I never left. And I go months at a time without riding at all because I'll be in like Cape Town or something working.
Right.
And then I'll come back and it'll be like I never left because I just have that, like I've figured out how to kind of flip that switch so that I'm back in the zone and back on it every time I ride. So no, I'm feeling good.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And so you have to tell us, how did you get into motocross? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so I think I started riding at like the age of like 2 or something, but I technically started riding before I was even born because my mom literally did a national race while pregnant with me. So I
Okay,
think it
so
was
it's
like
in the
really
blood.
early
It's
on.
in the blood.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Okay.
my whole family is racers, so it's in
Okay.
my blood for sure. But no, I started, they were still racing in the midst of racing when I was born, and then I
Okay.
basically just got into it and started riding as we were at the track and stuff. And then I think I did my first actual race when I was like 8, and then we just
Okay.
kind of kept going and went full bore into it.
Okay. So did you like were you homeschooled, or did you actually attend school? Like how did that work? Because I mean it sounds like you went professional
Yeah.
pretty early.
Yeah, so I technically never went like full professional. It just like the amateur national ranks is where
Okay.
we went, which to be honest, I really do miss the racing. So I think I might get my pro license and actually go race some pro nationals here soon, but we'll see about
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But no, so it's kind of funny. I was homeschooled for the last 2.5 or so years of high school, but
Okay.
that wasn't, it was because of motocross, but it actually was a big part of it was COVID, because I just went through school normally, and then I would race, and like my dad would pick me up early from school, like a few hours early every now and then so I could go practice and stuff. But in my like midway through my sophomore year is when C19 happened and all that went
Right.
crazy, and then schools kind of like went online anyway, but they didn't really
Right.
know what they were doing. So, which fair enough. I mean, they had to like pivot and everything pretty fast. But then my family kind of decided like, hey, this is a good opportunity. We've been thinking about homeschooling for a long time. Why don't we jump in and do it? And we can go live at training facilities. And
Mm.
yeah, that was, I'm very glad that we did that. But no, I was homeschooled the last 2.5 years.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. And then what is your business and how did you get involved in that?
Yeah, so my kind of main business is I run a marketing agency for e-commerce businesses. And I kind of just got into that because when I was 15, I discovered the model of drop shipping, which that just kind
Mm.
of hit me. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So I tried it. It did not go well. I never got that to really take off. But that
Okay.
introduced me to just entrepreneurship and online business in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then my future business partner, him and I were buddies, and he mentored me for a while. He introduced me to the idea of running an agency. So I kind of jumped into that. And then, long story short, him and I ended up working together on the same agency, partnered up. And then that's kind of what I've been doing for the last like 3 or so years. And then more recently, I've been kind of focusing on building my personal brand and social media following and everything, and kind of getting into the online coaching space because I've really found a love for that.
So how did you end up with a buddy in South Africa?
Yeah, so I literally, when I discovered like e-commerce and drop shipping way back when, I searched it up on YouTube. And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, but his channel is what came up and his videos came up. And I remember specifically he had a full like playlist of videos, and it was almost like a mini course. And it was
Okay.
like video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like all the way through 10. And I just binge watched them and I thought they were really good. And then in those videos, he mentioned like, hey, if you got a question, send me a message on Instagram and I'll get back to you. And then I ended up having a question. So I went to Instagram, found him, sent him a message, and he kind of helped me out a little bit. And then literally him and I just kind of kept talking. He offered to mentor me. And then after a while, because I ended up working with a different mentor who was within the US, because my parents actually, I mentioned the idea and they were like, where is this guy from? And I'm like, well, he's in
Right.
South Africa. So they're like, yeah,
I
no,
know
I
we
think
don't know that guy
I
and
think,
he's kind of far
yeah,
away.
exactly. And I mean, I was paying for it. Like it wasn't my parents' money or anything. Like I
No, but
paid for
it's the fact
everything.
that my kid is
But
going so far away and I don't know where he's going, who he's going to. I think it's more that.
yeah, well, technically at that point, I wasn't going to him. It was just gonna be digital. So
Okay.
that wasn't gonna be an issue. It was more like there's so many scams out there. So I think that's what they were worried about, is it's like this dude in
Mhm.
South Africa scamming you, blah, blah, blah. And no, but I ended up working with a different mentor, and that actually didn't end up going super well. I learned a lot
Okay.
from them. But long story short, I'm pretty sure what they were doing actually was like a pyramid scheme. So I got out of that pretty fast, just like the way they were building their coaching and stuff, like coaching people like
Awesome.
me. Luckily, I got in early, so I think they taught me everything that they knew because they had to. Because I think their goal was to like turn me into a coach, and I'd bring more people on, and it would just be a
I
pyramid.
see.
So once I kind of figured that out, then I was like, yeah, I'm out of this. But luckily I did learn a lot. And then I ended up going back to him in South Africa, like, and started messaging him again, and then decided to work with him. And then we just became close. He was 1,000 times better than the previous mentor. And I actually discovered, like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. So I worked with him for a while, and then we ended up doing the agency together.
Fantastic. For 19 years, Logan, you got quite a experience level there.
Yeah, no, I like to do a lot of different things and just take big risks and stuff, because why not?
It's
So
good. It's good. And so, speaking of risks, did you have any fear with any of those? Did you have fear with, making a decision to go back on racing? Did you have fear with starting your agency? Was there any fear involved in any of these?
I never had any fear starting those businesses. Like, I kind of just was like, all right, I'm gonna make this happen. Like, I'm just gonna try this. And I just started learning about it and then just implementing stuff. And I never really like feared it not working or failing. But at the same time, there wasn't like a massive investment that I had to make in it, in terms of like I didn't have to like buy a building or like office space or all these other things. Like, it was basically free to get started almost. So it was kind of just like, I'm going to try this and see if I can make it work. And I just went through that. I never really had any fears with that. But the toughest thing that I had to deal with was when I decided that I was going to kind of shift away from racing and go more all in on the business side, because racing had been like my whole life. And that's kind of what I had always been known for. I had always been the top guy in Colorado. And like, one of the things that I really feared was losing that perspective on me, I guess. And like, I feared that I'd leave being on top and then I'd come back and all of a sudden everybody else who kept training, they're like way ahead of me. Which, funny enough,
Okay.
even riding today, there was some people there who I race against, and I was actually like I was going faster than they were, and I never ride, I never train, and I honestly think it's 100% just mentality, because I can just show up and get in the zone whenever I need to, and I know how to ride. Like, I have this skill. I've trained with like I've trained almost at every facility in the country, so yeah, I don't have any doubts with that, but no, I didn't really have any fear with it. But the toughest part was making that shift, because I was leaving kind of like my main thing behind in order
Right.
to go into the business stuff.
Okay. Okay. Hey, it's Dr. G, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for listening to this episode. I'm so honored to have you here with me. Did you know that I can help you to get your own podcast started? With my podcasting launch course for professionals, I walk you through everything you need to know about starting a podcast. I'm with you every step of the way, from sign up to launching your show, with 5 episodes ready to go. There's a done for you version that's also available if you would just rather just do recordings and leave the behind the scenes work up to us. Then that one is definitely for you. But either way, we've got your back here at Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Oh, if you already have a show and you need production services, we have monthly plans available for you. So check out the links in the episode show notes for more information. Let's get back to the show. And then when did you make the decision that you're going to spend part of the time abroad? Like, what about that?
So I went to South Africa for the first time in 2021, and I broke my collarbone at the end in like September of 2021. And that's kind of what led to it, is because since I was full bore into racing, which it's a year-long thing, like there really isn't much time off. So my business partner and I had been talking about me going down there and us working together and actually meeting in person for the first time. And I was all for it. I was like, that'd be amazing. Which, to be honest, in my head, I was like, no, that'd be cool. But it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's never going to happen, most likely. Like, it'd be cool, but whatever. So I kind of just pushed it aside. But as soon as I broke my collarbone, my year of racing was over. And I immediately was like, this is like a good opportunity for me to go down there. I can't do anything else. I might as well take advantage of this. And it took a lot of convincing with my parents because I was only
I can't
17.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
and
took
it
a
goes
lot
back to
of
that same
convincing.
thing I was saying before. As a mom, this is
Oh
what I
yeah.
was thinking. Like, wait, no, where are you going?
Yeah. No, every single person that my parents talked to, specifically my mom, thought like it was a horrible idea and so dangerous and I should not go down there. Absolutely not. But luckily I ended up convincing them and they talked to a
Yeah.
few people who were like, that'll be such an amazing experience for them. But no, I ended up going down there, absolutely loved it. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. And then from there, I was
Awesome.
like, I want to keep doing this. And
Yeah.
I went to Johannesburg the first time, which is
Hmm.
not like the nicest place.
No, it's
I
not.
was in I was in Rosebank though. So like Rosebank was really nice. Like I liked that a lot. So I was in the nicer area, but then my business partner moved to Cape Town and like recently after I left. And then
Okay.
basically the beginning of 2022, I decided, I want to go back down there. And while I was in Johannesburg, him and I had talked about, he told me about Cape Town and he told me Cape Town's so amazing. Like him and I even debated on like flying down there for a weekend or
Oh,
something,
so you can kind of
but we
see
just
it.
never did. And
Okay.
then once he moved there, I was like, oh, I need to go down there. So that's when I went down there, and then I just absolutely fell in love with that place. So now I go down there and I'll stay there like for 3 months at a time and just work and
Okay.
enjoy it.
Nice, 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 nice. Oh, that's good. That's it's always good to have these kinds of experiences when you're young,
Yeah,
before you have all of the anchors, placed on you for whatever reason, I don't know, relationships, things like that.
yeah,
So how
exactly.
is your family feeling about your lifestyle now with you being spending some of the time so far away and then some of the time home? How's that going?
They're definitely happy when I'm home, which I'm home now. So they
Mm-hmm.
definitely like having me home, but no, it's definitely tough for them, like for me to be away and that far away for so long. But I have had my mom, she came out and visited me and stayed out there for like a week or so.
Okay, good,
Not the
good.
last time I was there, but the time before that. So that was
Yeah,
an amazing experience. It was really cool to show around and everything. And she fell in
yeah,
love with
yeah.
Cape Town. And then the last time I went, my grandma and my cousin came down and visited as
Okay.
well. So I'm kind of getting the family
Good.
slowly coming
Yeah,
down there
get
and
them coming
visiting.
out there
So
and
yeah, I'm like, hey, if you guys miss me that much, then you can come down here and visit. So no, that's been cool. But no, it's definitely been tricky for them,
yeah,
because it is a long way away and it's a long period of time.
yeah, it
But
is.
I mean, I've also explained to them, I'm like, hey, if I went to college, it'd be no different. Like I would only see you guys on Christmas
The
break and spring
vacations,
break
yeah.
and whatever. Like it'd be no different, really. But instead, I'm just a little farther.
Yeah,
And
I don't I think that's the piece, right? Because not to say that anything's going to happen, but parents always think like if
oh yeah,
something happens to my kid, I need to be able to get there quickly, and obviously it takes 24 hours to get there. It's not like it's you know a 2 hour or 3 hour
yeah,
flight. So I think that's the thing that kind of causes some pause. But I mean, it's a fantastic experience for
yeah.
you. I mean, it's amazing growth for you, and not very many young people get a chance to see other parts of the world, and that's a unique experience that will be with you for the rest of your life. And so it's
Oh
good.
yeah,
It's all good. Yeah, so that's
yeah,
good that they got a
exactly.
chance to visit you, though. It's good that they
Yeah.
did.
No, it was a blast for sure. It was really cool to have them down there. And it probably doesn't help like ease their conscience that when I'm down there, I own a street bike and that's how I commute everywhere. So
Oh,
my dad's like, sweet, get a bigger one. Whereas my mom's like, you better wear a helmet, please God, like be careful. So,
yeah.
but no, that thing's a blast. But I'm sure it doesn't help.
Yeah, yeah, fair. Okay. And then what are some of the things that you've learned about yourself since you've been on these ventures, since you've traveled
I
outside the
never
country?
I learned a lot about myself when I traveled there. Like it just first of all, it opened my eyes to a lot of things that I had never seen before. Like people like you hear and see on the news and all this stuff, and you hear about people who are less fortunate than you and like you care and stuff. Whereas I saw it in person, I saw some crazy things and I was just like, wow, like it just showed me how much I have and how grateful I should be every day, especially like when I am in Cape Town and I'm hanging with some of my buddies down there, or like I'd be in Stellenbosch, which is like kind of a college town, and I'd be
Mm-hmm.
meeting some people. And when they heard that I'm from the US, which they figured out pretty quickly because of my accent,
Right.
but they immediately are like, "Oh my God, have you been to New York?" Like they just put it on such a pedestal because of
Mm-hmm.
the currency difference, and how the currency is quite weak down there compared to the US. So
Mm-hmm.
when they're talking to me, they're kind of looking at the US as like they're dreaming of going there. And then that's just where I'm from. So I take it for granted. And that's something they're dreaming of. So it
Mm-hmm.
just kind of it shifted my perspective a lot. So that was one thing. But aside from that, I just learned a lot about myself in terms of I really love to travel. One thing that I didn't know is I love views, which that sounds kind of ridiculous because I think most people like views, like having a good view from
Oh
your
yeah.
apartment or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But when I was down there, I stayed in a lot of different Airbnbs. Like literally,
Mm-hmm.
the first time I went to Cape Town within the 3 months I was there, I stayed in about 15 different places. It was
Wow.
ridiculous. Yeah, no,
Was
I
it
was
like a different
bouncing
place each
around.
night? I mean,
I was
that
bouncing
seems like
around
a
a
lot.
lot. Yeah, it was like a new place every week, and then I'd go away somewhere and check it out for a weekend. It was insane, but
Okay. Okay.
I I had a lot of experiences where I had no view, and then I had experiences where I had a great view, and I realized, okay, I have to have a good view like that. I love that. So that was something big, but no, I it was definitely it opened my eyes to a lot of just things I didn't know about and showed me what's possible in terms of like, wow, if you can really build something in terms of a business or just a way that a lifestyle where you can travel and see the world, like it's amazing. So it kind of it was a new motivator, I guess you could say.
Okay. All right. No, that's fantastic. Yeah. I am a firm believer in that seeing the world because it definitely changes how you think
Oh yeah.
and who you are. And so I'm just very happy that you had the opportunity at such a young age to have that exposure, because it makes a difference in who you
Oh yeah.
become. So fantastic. So tell me, what are the next steps for your business? You mentioned that you're going to be getting into coaching. So tell us about that.
Yeah, no, I right now I'm kind of focusing on building my personal brand and everything. And specifically like where I've had the most growth in my life and success is racing and motocross. Like at my stage, I would never teach business or anything. Like I wouldn't even touch that because I don't have the experience with that yet or the credibility. However, I've raced at a very, very high level and gone and I mean I've raced for over 10 years practically, and done really, really well with racing. And the biggest thing that I had to overcome was the mindset side of it, which an Olympic swimmer said, and I completely agree, which is when you get to a certain level, everybody's good, everybody's talented, everybody has the skills, they're all being trained by the best of the best, and they're training all the time. The difference or the X factor when you show up is how you show up mentally. Like it's 20% what you actually know, because everybody knows how to do it, it's 80% how you show up mentally. And I was able to figure that out. And now every single time I race or even ride like today, I'm able to show up on the top of my game regardless. And I think that is just a absolute game changer. I know it was for me. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I mainly push on my social media is kind of how to do that. And then also just the mindset and mentality shifts that I've had and what I've learned just over the years, even just in business and life in general, because there was definitely a lot that I've had to go through even on the mindset side with business and traveling on my own to South Africa and all this stuff. So no, I'm just building the personal brand and looking to work with people who need the help with something that I think I can help them with.
All right, that's awesome. So now you got to tell them how they can reach out to you on socials.
Yeah, they could just go to my Instagram, which is just Logan_Lessar, and I'm just
And
posting
you
there
want to
daily.
spell
And
Lessar so that they are aware of the correct
yeah,
spelling.
Logan_Lessar, Lessar. But yeah, they could just go check me out there, and I'm posting every day, kind of posting my daily routine on my story and everything, kind of what I'm up to, but trying to provide as much value as I can. And then if they wanted to reach out, they could reach out to me and just message me and get my help.
Awesome. 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 All right,
Yeah.
Logan, are you ready for our tradition on the show? That's the fill in the
Yes.
blanks. Okay. All right. So the first one is if I am fearless, I will.
Be able to accomplish anything.
Okay. All right. The next one is, to me, fearless freedom means
not allowing fear to get in the way of doing the things you know you want to do, even though you're scared of doing them.
Sweet. And then the last one is, my battle cry is
my battle cry is the quote that I came up with, which is a mouthful, but it's the daily pursuit of becoming undeniable in every realm of human endeavor.
Sweet.
That's my battle cry.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. No,
I
love it. You know, that is always that is like one of the most like subjective things, right? Because some people will be like, my battle cry is a sound, my battle cry is a word, and some people have battle cries that are paragraphs. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's your battle cry. So love it. No, just let us know once again, Logan, how to reach you on socials.
Yeah, just go check out my Instagram, Logan_Lessar, Lessar. And yeah, check me out there.
Awesome. Very nice talking with you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend with us here at the Tribe. And we're looking forward to seeing all the great things you're going to be doing.
Thanks, Charmaine. It was good talking to you. Thanks for having me on.
Same. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Again, I'm Dr. G. And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified of when the next episode is going to be. And also, I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.